Hey guys, Bitcoin and ETH are ripping again, and I think it's about time we are positioning ourselves for the new altcoin season that will most likely come in the coming weeks or months. And by that I mean we talk about some promising altcoin projects. And in this one I want to talk about SUPRA. It's a rising layer 1 blockchain, and it's, in my opinion, not just another token. It's building infrastructure that big players will actually use. With the recent update, we had a nice leg up. As you can see here, it's more than 150%, or kind of about 150%. And the chain actually dishes out one massive update after the other. And we have massive transactions with the new AutoFi function. But we still are down really bad. So if we go back to the all-time chart, we see that this does not really look good. So why is that, and does it stay that way? We're gonna find out. If you're into cryptocurrency that actually solves problems and you're not only there to make money, this video is for you, so have fun watching. Let's get into it. So what is SUPRA? SUPRA started in 2021 as an Oracle project like Flare or Chainlink, and they evolved into a full layer 1 blockchain with some highlights I want to point out now. So let's get into it. They have multi-virtual machine support. This means that it can also operate on the virtual machines of other blockchains like Ethereum or Solana, and interoperability might be one of the most important things in the future of crypto, and SUPRA has already positioned itself very clearly on that. They have the Oracle services, and SUPRA has an on-chain Oracle service, so I gotta explain that a bit further. Blockchains like Ethereum need side projects, and the most prominent one is Chainlink, to get data from the real world, while SUPRA does this on their main chain. This is kind of revolutionary and probably safer and less complicated than on Solana with Flare, or with Pith, or a Chainlink, and no, others don't come into my mind. And this is a pretty unique selling point for SUPRA. Their native randomness model is another big point I have to talk about, and this is pretty simply to explain. SUPRA makes on-chain gaming fair. So for all the people that want to go into crypto gaming, they want to invest in crypto gaming, SUPRA has a mechanism that makes fair RNG to prevent frustration. So our good old mathematician Laplace would be pretty proud of that. And the last one are their automation layers. AutoFi is the biggest hype around SUPRA right now, and people pretty much seem to like it because the transactions are really high. AutoFi stands for automated finance, and it's kind of an autoplay function for finance. So if you know these Korean autoplay games where the game plays itself, AutoFi is the same, just for finance. In November 2024, they launched the mainnet and a token generation event with listings on major exchanges like Bybit, KuCoin, Gate and Maxi, and they recently had a listing on CoinEx. The biggest thing comes now. Every feature I talked about is on their main chain. This is pretty new because blockchains like ETH, Avalanche, Cardano or Solana, they all use their layer functions to use all these. SUPRA does it only on the main chain, all the functionality, and that's why they call themselves a full vertical integrated blockchain. Everything on one layer. Pretty nice. SUPRA has some standout numbers. So they have 500,000 transactions per second. This is pretty insane for a layer 1. For comparison, MasterCard has only 65,000 transactions per second. So this is a pretty big multiple. Sub-second consensus latency, transactions are confirmed in light speed, while Swift or MasterCard, they need seconds to confirm transactions. SUPRA does it below in the millisecond reach. Tribe and clan architecture, this cuts latency even more while maintaining decentralization. This is one of the key goals of SUPRA Labs. they want to keep their blockchain decentralized. Right now that might be a problem because the project is really new, but once they roll out all the features they talk about in the white paper, we will closely get to decentralization, to full decentralization. Plus, they natively integrate automation networks. I also talked about that. That's for programmable smart contracts. That's nothing special, but it's on par with all the other blockchains. And they have the so-called SUPRA containers. Think of that as an independently operating smart contract system that does the work without interfering with each other. In short, it's faster, it's more secure and more decentralized. The token utility and adoption. The SUPRA token is the artery of the system, but nothing special so far, but I will still break it down for you. The token is used for gas and tax, for transactions and cross-chain bridges. Each transaction costs SUPRA, of course, but almost nothing. So it's right now in the dollar millicents. It's not even a cent transaction. Staking and node security. Validators must stake large amounts. So staking means they have to deposit to take part in the network. It's used for governance. So holders shape the whole system and holders have voting rights when it comes to changes. And well, that's nothing new. That's the same thing on other chains. Payment for Oracle and automation services. So you have to pay in SUPRA to get information by the Oracle services. They also introduced the proof of efficient liquidity, POEL model. So you stake and provide liquidity, and this way you maximize the use of your token. So, and thanks to integrated services, developers across the chains can use SUPRA without learning new APIs. So what's an API? That's an application programming interface. In short, you learn how to deal with SUPRA and you can deal with all the other blockchains. That's pretty nice. Let's talk about distribution and tokenomics. So here is one of SUPRA's biggest concerns. So let me explain how the tokens are distributed and why this is no big deal. Here we have the chart. You see about 23% to foundation, 21% to validators and stakers, 20% to early contributors, 16% to team, that's actually locked away, 11% to the ecosystem and community, and 9% to airdrops, partners, advisors, and probably for commercial uses and all the other stuff. Lockups ensure no dumps. This means the team and venture capitals have gradually vesting. They also ran a huge blast-off campaign with over 500,000 participants on testnets and quests. That's seriously big engagement. That's a lot of people. But here is some caveat. Community on the Discord server already raised concerns that new unlocks almost immediately get sold off. And this actually really happened. The price action recently wasn't really promising until about 2 weeks ago, and so people lost faith in the project. What I don't really understand about all this fuss is if you look at SUI or XRP, they almost went through exactly the same phase in the early stages. And SUI has almost the same tokenomics and it's extremely successful right now. And it will do even better in this bull run. So one thing is important. Please do your own research. Look up Joshua Topkin, maybe you subscribe to him on X, visit their Discord. I will get a link to that in the video description, and just have an eye on the projects you want to invest in. Don't just yeet money in, do your research. I mean, that's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. But before you invest, look into the project. And there is a lot of stuff on the internet about SUPRA. You can watch other creators, what they think about SUPRA. You can go on the Discord, you can go on X and ask people. Because this is no financial advice, it's just my opinion and entertainment. By the way, subscribe and like. We continue. What are some real-world reactions? Here's what the crowd says, and no particular order. Make out of it what you want. On Reddit, people highlight their modular containers, native tools, and full layer 1 integration. So some people like it, some don't like it, they are discussing a lot. The tech took off in 2024 and Reddit called it one of the most actively building projects, with testnet doing 9 million transactions. So again, rather positive. It beats Chainlink in some Oracle aspects. It's fast, it's decentralized, and it has secure data. That's also somewhat positive. People are kind of mad about the immediate sell-offs. They talk about it on X and on Discord, and a lot of people call it actually a scam. The fans of the project defend the devs because they deliver very frequent updates on X, they do podcasts on YouTube and other social media platforms. The bad thing, the clicks on these videos are a bit lackluster. You can see it the way you want, maybe people aren't interested, or you're extremely early in this. Just a thing of mindset. Let's talk about risks and concerns. Now let's be as mean as possible. It's not fully open source yet. Hard to verify claims completely, but devs keep stuff away from the public, probably in fear of being copied and then outsmarted by better marketing, which right now is a mixture between try hard and trying to keep the moral up. The marketing is not the best, in my opinion, right now. They have massive promises, like 100x the token price estimates, but many could be overly optimistic. And Joshua recently tweeted, investors will get rewarded. Is this marketing? Is this false promise? Throw a bone to the desperate investors and beg them not to sell any further? I don't know. So still, adoption is key. If you want the price to rise, you need adoption. The future depends on active dApps, bridges, oracles, and all of this has to be used on-chain. If people don't use a chain, it won't succeed. This isn't a meme coin, so even if it can do a solid marketing in the future, it will only be treated as another shitcoin, living off some hype and community, and then die off. This is not the worst, but nothing for the future of money. And in my opinion, this is the thing crypto was actually about. So where does SUPRA stand right now? We have massive scale and potential with our vertical services. No doubt about that. Everything is on one chain. You have oracles, you have bridges. You don't need big layer ones to have core functionality. Also something revolutionary. For a low market cap, this is a pretty solid project. Not only regarding development, but also community engagement and their interest on social media and their participation numbers in testnets. And here we come to the big but. We are so early and so much can happen. This is a massive risk of investment. Please do your own research. It's massively risky to invest in this token. Is this a sleeper pick or a long-term critical blockchain? Time will tell. What matters is they're building. I don't like this what I'm doing right now, but I'm sure you want to know. Everything between 0 and $1 is possible. $1 SUPRA might happen. I don't know. I will keep an eye on it for core audits, mainnet activity, and dApp launches. And you, let me know. What do you think about SUPRA? Just tell me in the comments. Smash like if you want more altcoin deep divers, subscribe for honest and a bit simpler crypto education, and see you in the next one. Bye.